All right, so how did I go from this to this? Here's how my physical evolution really happened. So just before my 21st birthday, I'm 31 now in 2025, but just before I turned 21 in 2014, I quit drinking for like the first time. I did not immediately get a gym membership. I just started hiking every day after work because frankly, I just wanted some alone time and it was a good opportunity to just think. 45 to an hour of intense cardio every day. The first real muscle building exercise I did was when I set a push-up quota one day. I was working construction at the time, residential, and I committed to just banking 500 push-ups every day throughout the course of the day, no matter what. I would do them on the pallets of plywood and the unfinished concrete slab of the houses that I was building, listening to Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, which had just come out at the time. When I did finally enter the gym, all I did was squat. I was inspired by my brother, who was a competitive Olympic weightlifter. And if you know Olympic weightlifting, it's basically just a heavy front squat. So he swore by it. So all I did was just stand at the squat rack and just squat for like an hour, back squats actually. I was building on some of that leg strength that I got on the trail, but unfortunately at the end of 2019, I relapsed. And I relapsed hard. And I will note, if you are having any trouble with substance abuse, alcohol, I hope you get sober. One thing I will say though, because I know for myself that, I've relapsed a few times in the last decade. Thank God I have 5 years of strong sobriety. But in those first 5 years, I went in and out. And one thing I realized was that every time I went out, it was harder to get back and it took longer. And I feel like I'm out of last chances now. And if I was to go out again, I may never come back. But anyways, I managed to clean up my act again, just as the pandemic was hitting, and I started sharing on this sober fitness page, which helped. And it didn't really matter that gyms were closing because the way I was training wasn't really relying on machines so much. So what I did was I went up to the old high school and I just did dips on the 90 degree of a low chain link fence every day. Originally 300 every day, and then eventually 500 every day. And that was just my entire workout, 500 dips. At first it took me like over an hour, but it took me less time as I did it more. So that's all I did for like a few months of lockdown. And then I got a job in film building movie sets, and I continued to improvise a lot. And one day, again, just not knowing anything about the science of lifting and bodybuilding, which ended up being like a huge blessing. I wasn't so wrapped up in science-based lifting, and I didn't know about hypertrophy and progressive overload. I just assumed more was better. And this ended up really helping me because in my ignorance, I just figured, what if I just pick up a set of dumbbells and wail on my arms every morning for 5 minutes before work? Just do 100 curls on each arm and, not allow myself to put the weight down until I'd secured all 100 on each arm. And well, it worked. So, I'm glad that I didn't grow up following bodybuilding and watching videos on it, because I might not have done that. It's certainly not something that some science-based lifter bro would ever advise you do. Just arm curls every day. But like I say, it worked. I started filling out my t-shirt sleeves and I discovered it's really nice starting your day with a pump. It's actually better than the best cup of coffee. Some endorphins and serotonin first thing in the morning as you're heading out the door. When you're used to being like a zombie and half awake, you're getting in your car lit up, ready to go to work. And then you get to work, and then people you're working with sense that on you and are more confident in you. It's just like the compounding downstream effects of fitness. Anyways, this is a subject for another video, but more confidence on a daily basis means more wins overall, which means over time you just do better in life, all because of some arm curls you start your day with every morning. So I got hooked on that, and that was my first real, I would say, fitness daily, because although I did those dips every day, and then I later got a barbell and I did overhead press every day, and I did those push-ups every day when I was working construction. I did those daily exercises. I wouldn't really call them fitness dailies because although they were daily, they weren't short daily exercises, which is a defining characteristic of fitness dailies. They have to be short. The whole point is that it's a small daily investment of time that is not overwhelming, that you can easily do every day, so you can actually get those results and you can see them compound over time. But the daily arm curls took 5 minutes. So that was 5-minute daily arm curls was the first official fitness daily. Standing at the squat rack for an hour and doing 500 dips was a long workout, and the 500 push-ups every day was more like a daily quota. So anyways, what ended up happening was I built a bench press with my brother, and I switched to benching every day, like encouraged by my first upper body gains from dips and overhead press and those push-ups. But then at a certain point I realized that I was built forward from excess pushing movements and not enough pulling movements. So the next thing I did was I started rowing every day, barbell rows. And this was another fitness daily. The second one after daily arm curls, this was 20-minute daily barbell rows. The first fitness daily involving a compound exercise, 20 minutes, on the high end of how long a fitness daily can take, which in the new fitness daily program, which I'm working on right now, all compound exercises that are fitness dailies are 20 minutes. Yeah, so this was another fitness daily, the second one after daily arm curls. I decided on 10 sets of 25 reps, one set every other minute for 20 minutes. So 20-minute daily barbell rows, which is the maximum time length for what ultimately became defined as a fitness daily. Doing all these rows really got my back in the game, and they helped me iron out to good mind-muscle connection with my lats, which I'd never really figured out how to engage before this, which is maybe why I just stuck to pushing movements up until this point. So with my back muscles fully in the game, thanks to daily barbell rows, the next thing I really cracked into was overhead pulling, and I just mastered pull-ups. I did, again, every day, and I gotta say, if you do this, if you master pull-ups, your aesthetics are going to take off. It is inevitable. Pull-ups, particularly nice wide grip pull-ups, they build your back like crazy, and which pulls your shoulders back and opens up your chest, which corrects your posture. It is like maybe the best exercise for a balanced physique, in my opinion. Not to mention functional strength. I mean, overhead pulling is hard, and if you can get into it, like if you struggle, offset some of your body weight with a band, or do what I did and hit a season of daily barbell rows leading up to it, and then if you can really get into it, yes, you will add a ton of functional strength and aesthetics. And so that's really it. I had that first major leg evolution, hiking every day and then squatting. I blew up my chest and my shoulders like crazy by doing dips and flat bench and overhead barbell press, and I got into those by setting a daily push-up quota, which I just did within the course of 24 hours, hit all 500 of those push-ups any way I could. And then I did my first fitness daily arm curls, and then I defined what a fitness daily was with daily barbell rows, and that helped me get my back in the game. So that's legs, anterior and posterior. At no point along the way did I diversify and spread myself thin. At no point did I try to do everything all at once. And I feel like that is most people's problem who are beginners and who are struggling with their fitness. Like, think about it. In no other area of life is trying to do everything all at once considered a good strategy. But this is how everyone approaches developing their physique. You know, it's new year, new me. They make that resolution and they end up in the gym in January, and they start with like a traditional weekly push-pull legs workout split. I think this is something you should graduate to. At least this is what worked for me. You know, I still do fitness dailies on the side every season to just like force some development in areas that I feel I'm lacking. But I did one thing at a time, and I didn't move on to the next thing until I mastered what I was working on. And only once I'd done this in every area of my physique did I roll it all into like the ultimate workout split that I'm working today. A more traditional approach that involves dividing up my attention because I'm able. Like, I've spent the time focusing on each individual aspect one at a time. So I can now afford to divide up my attention between these things. So I want to just say that progressing naturally leading up to the workout split, it really helped me. It made things easy because I was never overwhelmed, you know? And because of that, I was able to enjoy it. I was able to learn to love it even, because mastering one thing at a time entails playing your strengths. It entails only doing the thing that you're good at until you're just really good at it, which is a ton of positive reinforcement. And if like that's the association that you build with fitness, well, you'll want to do it more. You associate with reward and wins and success and feeling good about yourself. Again, because you're not spreading yourself thin and doing stuff that you're not yet good at and doesn't feel good. All the association that I built with fitness was positive, so I wanted to keep doing it. And I also want to say that sharing on Sober Fitness has helped me more than anything, because along the way, you know, people pointed out when I was doing something wrong and they encouraged me when I was doing the right thing. And I also never relapsed again because I couldn't. I was thinking about sobriety too much, constantly sharing about it. And I couldn't let people down who were following me. So my approach to physically transforming myself through basically just doing one thing at a time, it worked. But I was able to do it and go through with it and not get derailed by my problems with alcohol because of you, with the help of you tuning in. Like, no joke. So I really just want to thank you and encourage others who are trying to change their lives for the better to consider sharing about it. Even if you're not happy with where you are now, or you're not comfortable sharing about it, if you could just get over those feelings and put yourself out there a bit, you know, take a risk, be honest, tell others where you're at, give it some time, and that transformation will be yours as well.